Coming up on Empower with Tristan Canfor-Dumas.
I didn't even know what was going on. I was so confused, and I was just like, I was so afraid too, because it's happening in the middle of the dining hall, and like people don't really know what's going on. Like, it's all happening in my head, but like there are so many people around me. I felt so isolated, but I really couldn't feel isolated because I'm still expected to fulfill my duties as the leader of the school. And so I kept putting on a mask, trying to hide my pain, trying to hide that this is actually what's going on in my head. This is what's happening to me. And after doing that for so long, like, I was just mentally exhausted. And like, I really felt like I was at my end. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. You see, at first I thought that like, oh, I can handle it. Like, oh, the stress is not really that bad. It's cool. It's this and that. That was until I had another panic attack. The power is in your mind. And for a second, I had forgotten that the power was in my mind. Hello. My name is Tristan, and I'm here to empower you to elevate your life. Today, we ain't got no guest. It's just me. And man, I have a lot to say. Today is just a story time. It's just a cool little story time. And yeah, without further ado, sit back, relax, enjoy, but most importantly, take notes. So, in this video, I'm not really just going to just go off the top and just mention whatever story that comes to my head, but it's a structure. It's something that I've been planning for the better part of a year. And here is my journal. For those who cannot see, I'm showing up a journal. And over the past year or so, I've just been writing my experiences. I've been writing my thoughts about certain things that have gone on in my life. And it's mainly around the last year of high school. So these are certain thoughts that I just had to write down, and lessons that I just can't wait to share. So yeah, this one, I know where I'm going today. Like, I know I know what story I'm about to say. And whoa, it's a big one. But yeah, let's just get into it, man. Let's just get into it. So, I'm reading from. This is one of the first times that I actually wrote inside this journal, and it was 15th of January 2024. It was a Monday, and it was 10:01 p.m. on the dot. And this is what I wrote: no one is coming to save you but you. Stop playing victim and being powerless, and take control of your future. Don't let circumstances that God put you in, don't let circumstances that God put into your life to make you, break you. This world is crazy, so really, this is training for the future. You can never control certain outcomes, but you can always control your actions and reactions, which in the end could affect the outcome. You are what you think. This was after a very tumultuous week. There were a lot of things that were going on in my mind, and to begin the story, I actually want to take it back to my first year of high school, and I highlighted in my book, Elevate. This was the year where I wanted to just like relax and just have fun and all those things. And at the end of the year, it kind of came back to bite me. But one of the things I didn't really mention inside this book was getting towards the last few months of school, as exams were approaching. I kept trying to put on this facade of being like not disturbed by what's going on. I kept trying to kind of play that game that, oh, exams is not anything, it's cheap, I don't have to study for it and things like that. But as the days were just getting closer and closer to exams, I could feel myself getting so anxious. And I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was prep. We had prep time, and in my school, we prepped in the dining hall. So it was like everybody was there. And this was like COVID times. Keep in mind, this is like 2020, 2021 day. So it's COVID times. And so we are in the dining hall, we are prepping. And this was probably like the day before I had like some math exam or something. And I knew that I had not been learning anything. So there was literally nothing in my head. Bro, that feeling. I remember I was just watching my 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 laptop, and it just started like I just started breathing heavy. Like I could feel my breath just started to like just had shortness of breath. And then all of a sudden I started feeling lightheaded. Then I started feeling like pains. Like it felt like something was like holding me and like I couldn't really breathe. Like I was struggling to breathe. And then in my mind, I'm just like, I'm thinking, I'm just start overthinking. I just keep thinking like, oh, maybe it's COVID. Maybe I have COVID. Da, 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 da. And I was to go and look online. I made the mistake of going to go and search online that symptoms of COVID. And it said shortness of breath, feeling lightheaded. And then it just started to confirm all of my worries. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. It was so bad. Like, and so I told one of my friends that, can you take me to my hospital tutor? I'm not feeling well at all. The guy the guy literally had to like hold me because I literally was struggling to walk. That night, I was rushed to the hospital, and what was so crazy was when I arrived at the hospital, I was perfectly fine. Like I didn't know what was wrong with me. All I knew is that I was okay. They tested me for any sort of sickness, and by God's grace, everything came back negative. So like I was cool. I went back to my room and I was like, that's weird. And I didn't really think much of it until I came back home and I told my mother about it, and she was like, oh, it's probably a panic attack. And I didn't really believe her, but I searched it online, and I mean, yeah, it really fit the description. It fit the description of a panic attack, and it was brought on because of stress. And so, yeah, that was the first time that I had a panic attack. And from that point on, I was just trying to do everything and anything to not let that experience happen again. That's also part of the reason why I started learning so much about the mind and about ways that you can, conquer your thoughts. And I mean, it was working so well. And I had, it was just progression. And throughout the years, from the first year of high school till the last, I hadn't really gone through an experience like that again. That was until my last year of high school. That year, as you may already know, I was the head boy. And that journey of being the head boy at first was just so nice. It was so lovely. I kept like, I don't know what it was, but it was like a bit of significance was attached to my name. And like everywhere I'd go, like I'd be greeted, oh, head boy, oh, head boy, oh, head boy. And at first, like it was so nice, it was so cool. And like I really felt like, yeah, I'm the head boy. Like, yeah, that's me. I'm the head boy. But as the months went on, I don't know, like I grew tired of it. It felt like it had become my identity, and I didn't want that to become my identity. I wanted to be known as Tristan, not the head boy. And so, I don't think it was really just because of the role. It was like a mix of things. I was in my final year, and there was a lot of stress, like from subjects to even just my life in general to now being the head boy on top of everything. It was just like a difficult experience. And I remember, now we are going to January, which is when I wrote this. This was the time when I wanted to play basketball. I play basketball and I wanted to compete for my school. But you see, they were just, I'm in my final year, as I said before, and there were just so many things that were just not going right. I just had so much work to do. And what annoyed me was that I knew I had the work to do. And so I planned ahead and I tried to use my Christmas break to do all the work so that by the time I come in January, everything is done and I can go and train with my team and I can go and have fun and I can go and compete. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want to do. I want to do well in school, but I also want to have fun and do the things I want to do. So I'm just like, okay, cool. I come back to school. This was before I wrote this stuff. I come back to school thinking that, okay, since I've done all the work, I'll be okay. Yeah, nah. You see, that wasn't what happened. You see, there's a saying that, has just stuck with me forever. And it is basically, we plan and God laughs. You see, my plan was that I'll finish all of the work I had to do, give it to my teachers, and then it'll be like, cool, you know what? You can go and play, go and have your fun. But that's not at all what happened. The things that I planned to do to go and train with my team, it was just disrupted because that this year, like the year that was my final year, the school brought up this new study sessions basically, and that really really impacted my time because you see, generally after school I like to go back to the hostels and go and play sports. I like to participate in sports. I really like to, it helps me to focus in the evening when I'm studying. It just helps me. But I see the school they had the right intentions. It's just like it just didn't go with me at that point in time. So they brought about the study. They call it study hall, and that's what happened in the afternoon. And I mean, man, that stuff really took a toll on me. And you mix that with the pressures of being the head boy. I mean, like, one of the biggest questions that I got while being the head boy was like, what really is your role? That's like the biggest question people will ask me, like, what really do you do? And sometimes I actually can't answer that question because it's not like a straight out answer. There's just so many things that come with it, and the majority of it is inside your mind. Like, you have to be able to think ahead of whatever is going on right now and understand how this will affect something else. So it's just like a constant mental thing that just goes on. And the burden of being the leader of the school is mainly something that's in your mind. It's mainly something that you have to understand and you have to acknowledge. But I can't lie, at some points in time it really felt a little overwhelming. And in January, that's when I wrote this stuff. That's when it was really kind of feeling overwhelming. And so basically we had deadlines to do, right? There were deadlines that we had to fulfill, and me, I thought I was on track to fulfill them. However, just so many different things came in my way. Like, when I say so many different things came in my way, I mean like curveballs, left, right, center. I'll have everything ready, and then something completely has changed. You see, what happened was a new teacher came to teach us, and the person who came changed everything because the work that I had done was like based off of the specifications of the previous teacher. So when this new teacher came, it had changed everything completely. And basically what happened after that was I had to restart from scratch. And I knew that the competition that I really wanted to play for was at the end of the month. And the type of work that I had to do, it's not going to take 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's going to take months to do. And so I really started stressing. Like, man, that was when it really got bad. And it was just, it really wasn't the best. So you add that academic stress on top of just the general stress of being the head boy, being the head prefect of the school. And then you also add the stress on top of not being able to play my sports. You see, at first I thought that like, I can handle it. Like, the stress is not really that bad. It's cool. It's this and that. That was until I had another panic attack. Oh man, panic attack. It's really not fun to go through. And to anyone who has gone through it before, just know that you'll get through it. Nothing is ever as bad as it seems. Nothing is ever as good as it seems. And I mean, I'm here today, and it didn't kill me, and it won't kill you. So I would really advise that you find ways to understand the root of it so that you can prevent it from happening again, because that experience is just not fun. And this is some of the things that I don't really tell people about these things. I keep it to myself because I don't think that there's any reason to share all these things. But here, I just want to share the lesson that I got from all of this. And it's a bit of a bittersweet one, but through all of these episodes, I learned one thing. And this actually happened on the walk back. You see, the panic attack was just one episode, but I had like such a bad week. It was like a period of time where it was just like my mental health was just down. and I just felt so closed off. I didn't really want to talk to anybody because I just didn't feel like I had to share that. Like that was my stuff to share. I felt so isolated, but I really couldn't feel isolated because I'm still expected to fulfill my duties as the leader of the school. And so I kept putting on a mask, trying to hide my pain, trying to hide that this is actually what's going on in my head. This is what's happening to me. And after doing that for so long, like I was just mentally exhausted. And like I really felt like I was at my end. Like I didn't know what was gonna happen. And you see, normally in my school, we walk back to the hostels. So like there's a walk that we go to walk from the college to the hostels. And during that walk after school, I'm usually with like my friends. I'm usually walking with my friends. But this one day, like everybody left me. And I was just there. So I was like, okay, why not just walk on my own? But it was that walk that like it changed everything. This was that day before I wrote this down. Before that, I had been seriously like overthinking. If I say like overthinking, but it was just down. I had gone on the walk and I was just walking, trying to clear my head. And then the thought just came to me and I was just like, situation is not going to change unless you do. The situation is not going to change unless you do. And then I started thinking about something that I learned a while ago. And this was part of the 5 a.m. club, part of me reading the Bible, part of also, I think it's Myron Golden as well. Is this one lesson that God uses these situations, these painful situations, to bring about a certain level in you that you didn't know you had. And so the situations that you may come against, it may not be comfortable, but it's necessary for your growth. And I just kept thinking about that, and I was just like, okay, you know what? Nah, it's time to turn my pain to power. I'm not going to let these episodes, I'm not going to let this panic ensue. I'm going to go to the root of the problem, and I'm just not going to allow it to affect me anymore. Because at the end of the day, I have the power. It's within me. I can do it. There's a verse in the Bible, Philippians 4:13, which says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And in that moment, that was the verse that just kept coming into my head. And I was just like, yeah, this thing doesn't know what's about to happen. This thing doesn't know what's going on. Like, you just started giving yourself that pep talk. And it was like, you know, it's coming. Like, I could feel the energy start to come. I could feel myself like, yeah, like this stuff is like, yeah, it's happening. Like, it's really happening. And I mean, after that walk, when I got back, bro, I felt so energized. I was like, nobody is coming to save you but you. That's why I kept thinking about it. I'm like, it's me. I have control over my destiny. I can't give power to these emotions. These are my emotions. They are coming about because of a certain thing that has happened. But I can't let those things affect me. I'm the one who can affect them. I can't let it be the other way around. And so I just kept playing that back in my head. And at that time too, I was reading this book called Can't Hurt Me. It's by David Goggins. And I mean, in that book, it's all about mental toughness. And I was just like, yeah, man, it's necessary. I need that. And as I was reading it, I just got more fire, more of that, and more like, yeah, like this is it. It's like, it's mental toughness. It's a battle. Because, bro, the mind is so powerful. Like, whatever you think about can and most probably will happen. It's just the power of your thinking. We have the power to see things into the future. We have the power of vision. And that's just a completely different topic. But it's just the power is in your mind. And for a second, I had forgotten that the power was in my mind. And I'm here to also remind you that the power is in your mind. You just have to know that the power is in your mind. And you have to speak life over your situations. Because, bro, this situation, it really was not easy. And I don't wish whatever I went through on my worst enemy. Because at the end of the day, no one is perfect here. We all have our own battles that we are facing. But I really hope that me sharing this, kind of helps you who may also go through it. It's normal. If it happens to you, man, just take it as it's literally God molding you and forming you. One of the biggest lessons that I learned from this was that people think that life moves like this, like as in a linear fashion, or people think that life moves in an exponential fashion, or people think life moves in like a zigzag type of thing where it's like it's going up kind of. Me personally though, I think that it's a little more complex. I think I'll share the whole diagram in a future video, but for the sake of this video, I realized that life moves in seasons. And at that point in time, the season that I was in was a season of learning. I had to learn a certain lesson that the pain wouldn't go until I learned the lesson. So ask yourself that if you are going through any sort of pain right now, mental pain, emotional pain, ask yourself, what lesson am I supposed to learn from this? What am I supposed to get from this? Once you extract the lesson, you see, just watch. Your situation will start to change. It may not be immediate, but your situation will start to change. And that's how God works. And it's so crazy to me, but that's how God works. And it's just like, man. And so after the season of learning, once you learn and you get everything that you need to get from that situation, then you move on to a season of earning, where you are reaping the harvest, where you are reaping the lessons, you are reaping the benefits of learning from that previous time. Because what came from all these episodes, these panic attacks, was a stronger mental fortitude. Because now my mind it has grown. Because right now, those same situations wouldn't affect me as much as it did before, because I've gone through it already. And I've already been molded in that way. And I know that this situation, it happens for a specific reason. Because at the end of the day, us as humans, we have a purpose in life. And in order for us to fulfill our purpose, God has to take us through the process of molding. He has to mold us to be able to be ready for whatever He has planned for us. That's why, we go through hard times. That's why we go through all these difficult times. It's not because God isn't there. It's not because God is not listening. It's not because God doesn't love us. It's because God is molding us. God is molding you. He's molding you for something that is bigger and better than you could ever imagine. And I pray with my whole heart that you understand this, because this principle is what will save you from years of pain. Just keep it in mind. Smile through the pain, because you know that nothing lasts forever. And you know that just as this time you may be down, you'll be up soon. And that means that something big is coming. So this was just, a very quick story. Just something that was just on my mind, and I just wanted to share. If you enjoyed this video, I have so many more lessons inside this book, so many more different experiences that I've gone through inside this book, and I just, I want to share them. I really want to share them. I want to share all the things I've learned. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, tell me that, let me know that you're messing with what I'm doing, and subscribe, bro. Help me to reach more people. Help me to be able to influence more people. Help me to be able to grow and to grow with people. Help me to empower people, man. We on this journey. We are just getting started, and I thank you so much for everyone who is watching this to the end. Man, I love you so much, and just know that your life is going to change for the better. Okay. Also, if you are interested, I have my book, Elevate. Part of the reasons why I wrote this book was because of the experiences that I've gone through. And I really pray that you take the time to read this book. This is just a short book. I share 5 principles. I would love to have shared 20, but the page space and the time. So yeah, you can get that book on Amazon. You can get it on Book Nook, bro. It's gonna change your life, man. And man, if you're messing with what I'm doing, bro, you can follow the kid on Instagram. We are almost at a thousand followers, by the way. We've been growing slow and steady. We've been growing, and I love the growth so much. So we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it going, keep it rolling. If you enjoy what's going on, just follow your boy. Text me, bro. I think I'm open. Like, I'm really trying to be open and really try to respond to people. So just text me and let me know what's up. And yeah, without further ado, I believe in you. We believe in you. Go and make the world a better place. And don't just live life, but thrive.